back to the Mobility Project. Today we're talking about the exertional exercise headache. The exertional headache means that if you've never had one, you can talk to someone, ask your friends and see if they've had one. Basically, in the middle of the workout, someone walks behind you and punches you in the face, then they punch you in the back of the head and you're like, what's going on? My eyes are going to explode. It's crushing, and those athletes are able to soldier on during one of those workouts. It's unbelievable. And then the residual effects, you walk around feeling like, there's chipmunks eating out the back of your eyes. So what's the cause of it? Well, a lot of times we see it in stiff older guys, and likely, and stiff younger women too, likely, I suspect that it's a positional fault. So, for example, in this last workout of doing burpees and lots of overhead work, I noticed that a lot of people were burping, had to turn their head, sneaking their head, so in a loaded position, head was up a little bit to see the bar, and then immediately had to stabilize with shoulder upward rotation. Remember that the traps actually attach onto the neck, and so to upwardly rotate the scapula into a strong position, there's a large force that's pulling on the neck, which also puts me in a bad position. Usually we see a little bit of tight thoracic spine, lower cervical flexion, and upper cervical extension. That crushes that first cervical vertebra, which is the atlas. So my recommendation is when you have this headache, see if you can go find someone to kind of get in there and work on it. Certainly soft tissue work on all the little kind of suboccipitals and will definitely help. But what we need to do is kind of get your position fixed so that you're not crushing down that first vertebra and smashing down the little blood supply and the nerves underneath the neck. So here's my prescription. First, we're never going to change your neck position unless we change your thoracic position. What we're really thinking about in yoga and in good position is to try to shine out the back of your neck. And if you're standing in a good position, your ear should be over the middle of your shoulder. That's good kind of anatomical arrangement. Head is not shearing back, but it's extending and I'm in a good position. That will open up this joint space. So in order to do that, if I don't have room in my thoracic spine, I'm doomed because I'm going to be stuck like a broken, pissed off, flexed cobra instead of a cobra who can get stiff and then unstiff. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up. I'm going to really start high on those high thoracic spots, and I'm going to bridge up, and then I'm going to try to work overhead, and I'm really going to try to extend and focus on getting as much motion through those segments as I can, even side to side, and you'll see I'm just teetering back and forth. I can mobilize with a big breath, exhale, relax. Big breath, exhale, undo all of that business there. Tight, you're working all the paraspinals, of course, you're capturing all the movements, but seeing if I can't improve and I can get right up into that kind of base of that cervical thoracic junction and really try to mobilize there. So that's homework number one. Homework number two is that you need to take a towel and see if we can't restore some motion to the vertebra of your neck. It's just like a joint. Obviously, if your face goes numb or something's weird, stop doing it. But here's what I do. I get in just take a little towel. I'm going to cinch it up. This is a mulligan technique. I come right up underneath the base of my neck here, and I'm just going to pull a little bit. I don't need 1,000,000 pounds to do a sit-up. I'm just trying to pull into the soft tissue and see if I can restore. By the time my head has come up off the ground, it's done, and I just oscillate in and out. And sometimes when you have one sticky segment, you can just get that segment moving. So I just sink into tissue and come out, sink into tissue. And are we thinking we're working on that vertebra? Hard to say. What we can say is that this is a very effective way for self-treatment to be able to just restore some of the motion in your neck. It's no different than putting a lacrosse ball in the back of your back and trying to roll it around side to side. So this is an important mulligan technique. If you have an exertional headache, it makes a big difference. Then, further, what we need to do is go ahead and unload the big neck flexors and the neck movers. So here's what we're going to do. 2 pieces. 1. Let's go ahead and get you into a good overhead position with that arm. And then I want you to go ahead and tuck that head. And what's happened here is the scapula's been pulled back. I'm exposing a lot of the upward rotators, including the levator scapula. I turn my head and just hang out. Do not contract, relax. Just nice and easy. Turn the head. If you don't need anything, that's fine. A little weight here is okay. The key is that I've loaded up everything else, and then it just doesn't take very far. I don't have to pull my neck very far out of range to get a significant stretch in the musculature around the neck. So big breaths here. Take 2 minutes. Take as much as you time to accumulate enough change in that position. The second thing we've got to do then is open up the anterior compartment. I'm going to wind this up a little bit further. I'm going to go hand behind back, which really ties that into rotation. And then I'm tight through here. I'm going to anchor with my hand and then just fall to the side. Open up the scalene. So scaling short neck flexors pull me into this position when they get short. I attack them, and then I go to the side and look up. Camp out, hang out here. So what we're thinking about in order to resolve that cervical headache is improve your position, unlock the musculature that's freaking out because you've been in a bad position, ice your back of your neck, ice your head, see if you can't cool that off, drink a lot of water. We'll see you tomorrow.